and if you're new here, welcome. And you might want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, click the link, and also turn on the bell notification. So I'm new to this thing, but it's something that I love and I've wanted to do for a very long time. So I'm just finding my voice now, to do it. So if you don't mind, Ejo, about me click the like and get the subscribe, and the share, if send a sound on your table. Thank you so much. I'll be very grateful. So about 2 days ago, I posted on my Facebook page. I actually reacted to a post that someone else made, and I posted. I shared it on my page, and I reacted to it, and I said, if you think you can, you are right. If you think you can't, you are also right. But four things are certain. One, no one is going to rescue you. Two, no one is going to hand you a seat to the table. And three, no one is going to hand you a seat to the table on a platter of gold. Three, location is not a barrier to greatness. Four, whatever you focus on grows. If you want it, you work for it. We all have our own 24 hours. How you choose to use yours is completely your prerogative. It's that simple. And what I want to bring out from this caption is location is not a barrier to greatness. And if you see, it's very right. I couldn't sleep. I was just pondering on that statement that location is not a barrier to your greatness. And recently, Forbes released the list of the richest people in the world, and Aliko Dangote was the number one. And I'm like, Aliko Dangote lives in Nigeria. Nigeria that people are trying to jackpot from. They're trying to jackpot from Nigeria to other, European countries. And there's a man in Nigeria who has grown to become one of the richest men in the world. And we are not even thinking about this. Why would someone that have never lived anywhere apart from Nigeria become the richest man in the world? Do you know why? It's because of our population in Nigeria. There's a lot of growth opportunities in Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the largest countries in terms of population in Nigeria. That means we're a developing nation. It's an emerging economy, and in an emerging economy, there's a lot of problems that needs to be solved. So when I see people jackpotting back to Nigeria, it makes a lot of sense in one way. That okay, maybe people are tired of this country and they want to migrate back to Nigeria, and if they are migrating back to Nigeria, that means that they probably have saved up a lot of money and they want to go invest back in Nigeria, because you can't just go to Nigeria and think, okay, you want to go depend on someone. You have to think of how to contribute to the economy, how to make money, how to survive. Because if you don't have money in Nigeria, it's one of the toughest place on earth to live in. Nigeria is a very tough country. I was in Nigeria about I think last year. I was in Nigeria last year. If you don't have money in Nigeria, it's hotter than air fire. So you have to have money to be able to live. So those people that are migrating back, they are repatriating a lot of dollars back to Nigeria. Also, most of them, I think they already have a set business here that is generating income for them. So if they generating dollar here and they repatriating the dollar back to Nigeria, that means they also contribute in a way to the economy. But there are some people that travel to Africa, they travel to some parts of Europe, some of the cheaper countries, and after 2 years they're back to the country that they left. Why? Because maybe they didn't plan it well, or they didn't think, they saved money and the money ran out, so they decided to come back. So location is not a barrier. You can be here and also be successful. If you want to be here in the US or in any of the developing countries, that means, and you want to be successful, you have to create a business. You have to have something that is bringing in country. You can't just think you're going to be an employee for life and make it. No, you have to create a business. You have to find a means to survive in a more efficient way. Most of the people that made it to the Forbes list of richest people, they are not employees. They are all business owners. So anywhere you are, you have to create value. Whether in the third world economy or in this first world economy, you have to create value. In the absence of value, there is not going to be any returns. You can't get return on investment of on zero investment. I mean, how can I even put it? That if you don't invest, you can't reap any return on investment on anything. I don't know how to put it, but essentially you have to invest before you can reap the returns. So for those people moving back to Nigeria or being here, no, location is not a barrier. You can be here and be poor and also be in Nigeria and be rich. So location is really not the problem here. Location, wherever you are, the grass is growing wherever you are. You just have to water it. That is essentially what it means. So about 2 years ago, I met one of the lady that just moved to the US, and I was asking her a question that what would it mean for her to say, okay, I'm successful in the US. And she said, um, for her to be fully successful in the US or acclimated to the US, she has to have good job, good credit score, good house, and good car. You know, I was just thinking that all of these things that you just said, you can get it where you came from. You don't have to work your ass out to be in this country to get all of those things. But then, our dreams and aspirations are very relative. For me, the only thing that's going to make me happy is to be able to eat 3 square meal, live in a good place, be have the ability to travel around the world, to write about my experiences, to take pictures, to take photographies. And this morning I posted something on Facebook that I said, um, that now that I've checked most of my bucket list, that what I want to do now is to pursue my passion or follow my dreams and passion. And that would be nature photography and also filmmaking. And this is also part of what I'm doing right now. Filming, is something that I love to do. And that would be my own definition of success. And your one might be different. Your one might be, having Mercedes Benz. I'm not into cars, so I'm not saying Mercedes Benz is bad. It's just our dreams are relative. So, in the spirit of location is not a barrier. Wherever you are, the plant is green wherever you are. You just have to water it. Water it. Whether in Nigeria or in America or in Europe or in Asia, wherever you are, the grass is always green there. And you can be successful in any location that you are. You just have to find your path. Because if you digress from your path, you're going to become weaker. But if you stay within your path, your God-given gift and talent, you're going to be strong. You'll become untouchable. So location is not a barrier. And for those that are jackpadaing, all peace and light to you. I also like to jackpada maybe at some point when the country is stable. But for right now, it's not a good option for me because my kids are here, and also because it's still for all of the things that I want to do, this country is still very okay for me. And I also said something about debt, and someone commented that it's not actually, people are not really in debt. And the person is right, because no sane person will leave this country owing a lot of debt and move back to Africa. It's not a question of debt, it is a question of living beyond one's means. And I kind of agree with him, because if you live beyond your means, like above your means, that means you have to work twice as hard, to be able to fulfill the obligations. Because this economy is run on a credit system, right? And for you to buy your house, your car, you have to get some kind of credit facility. And so when you get credit facility, you have to pay back every month, which means you have to work twice as hard. And working twice as hard means, breaking your back to be able to pay for the things that you like, or the things that you purchase, which means hospital time, increase in medical debt, increase in mortgage, consumer debt. It does not make any sense to me. Why would I have to break my back to pay for my credit, like work 16 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours a day to be able just to pay for my bills, to pay for electricity, or to pay for, it does not make any sense. So instead of that, why can't you just cut your clothes according to your size? And the funny thing is, this country is very easy. It is very functional. If you're able to, you know, tame your desires, it is very functional. If you're doing a minimum wage job, you look for a minimum wage house, look for minimum wage food. You know, it ain't easy. But our people, we really like to, you know, put our hands for where our hand no reach, and that is the major cause of sicknesses and high blood pressures that the African communities that they have. You know, most people are sick all because of they break their back. A lot of people die in their car on their way to work, or they maybe during their break time they go to their car and they sit, you know, they sat down and the next thing they're dead because of stress. For what kind of stress? Just to maybe to pay for your electricity or your mortgage or your credit card bill, or your, you know, some things are just not worth it. Some things are not worth killing yourself for. That's just me. I'm just thinking, if you have any other, like, you know, from where I'm sitting, this is how I'm viewing it. If you're viewing it from a different point of view, you know, you're also right. We all have different point of view. But for me, I'm not going to break my back just because I want to buy. Imagine if you buy this phone, for example, your credit card, maybe let's say for $1,000, and I pay with my credit card, and every month if I'm only making the minimum payment, it will take me about 3 years or maybe 5 years to pay off this iPhone. And at the end of 5 years, it would have cost me twice the amount of you know, this to pay off. So why should I want to get this when I cannot afford to pay it cash? So there are some things that does not even make sense. Like I said, location is not a barrier to greatness. At this point, I think all of us need to start asking Aliko Dangote how he's been able to succeed in a country where a lot of people are poor. You know, we need to ask him. We need to start asking him questions, because there has to be like equality in the distribution of our national wealth. Because Nigeria is rich. Come to think of it, Nigeria is very rich. We have a rich country, and a lot of people are poor. And that's why there's a spillover from Africa to Europe and America, you know, just in search of wealth, when we have a very rich continent. So as much as I believe that location is not a barrier for greatness, we also have to play our part by working, you know, to achieve whatever we want or whatever we set to do. So thank you for watching, and this is I have come to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.